leave because then you can hang out in restaurants and bars after the game too. So that'll be helpful. I know some of the. Never mind. So yeah.
Where were you going?
Oh
no!
Yeah, I had a thought.
The cliffhanger.
Never mind.
You don't have to.
It's fine. So yeah, I think having businesses down there and more businesses down there will help, and that's coming in in a couple of years.
Well, you know what? For now, it's probably a good thing because I don't know that the area is prepped to handle a lot of people after the games. I mean, just like in general, staying in that area, it's almost better off to clear it out as quickly as possible. You know what I mean?
Sure, but I mean, if there was like giant bars and like
but bars plural, like one place to go to is certainly not enough. Also with the traffic report, they said 6,500 people took advantage of the RTC's Game Day Express, which is 5 different station casinos. It's $2 each way, so that's something I'm really interested in. I was actually with your guy Mick Akers at the paper. I was following up with him and the RTC about the ease of using that Game Day Express. So they have an app. And right now I'm not a real big bus rider, but things could change. I used to ride the bus all the time to go to work a while back. But I was wondering on the app, like I want to be able to go up to the bus and just be like, hey, here you go. Here's my, my 2 passes. So right now it's not on the app. So they said they're working on that. And then the other big question from several UNLV fans, like, okay, well, service for UNLV games, right? For football games. And right now it says they're working on it. And Akers pointed out that there's a little mention of it on the UNLV football website. But right now it doesn't look like there's any service in place for the Thursday, September 2nd.
Oh boy.
Which every event there, regardless if it's going to draw 25,000 or 65,000, there needs to be top level mass transit. Whatever we have available, it has to be available for those dates. Because here's the thing, I would fear for UNLV if people have a couple of bad experiences and then they go down there and they're like, wait, my ticket only costs 47, but parking is 75.
Right.
Like that's the last thing UNLV needs is to turn off any potential customers because they feel like they either didn't enjoy the experience getting there and parking, or that they thought it was a ripoff.
Oh yeah, and when
their margin for error is not very big.
It's similar to when we how often we've talked about resort fees of like, hey, I'm willing to go to Las Vegas because hey, this looks like a very very good deal on a hotel. I like it. We can afford this. This is cool. And you get there and the resort fee is like more than the hotel cost. It does turn
it's a game breaker.
Off.
It's a freaking game breaker.
Yeah. So if you're kind of saying, oh, you know what? I can $50 a ticket for the family. That's if that's $200. That's a lot, but hey, we can do that. We can swing it. Wait, parking's another 100. Well, that was not part of our budget, and now we're angry, and now we're annoyed, and now we don't have a good time. Think of how many times you've done something in your life, and it was a good time, but you didn't think you had a good time because one little thing ruined it.
Can I tell you I had a positive experience downtown going to dinner. Place I go to has gotten a little pricier, but I was able to get free valet parking, and it made the night. And the valet parking was $15. It should mean nothing in the big picture, but it meant something.
Of course. Yeah. And one little thing could make it a positive or a negative experience. And if people have negative experiences too many times, they're going to stop doing something.
Number 2.
Now, if you're going to a nightclub and those little things are going to upset you, then this is the wrong city to go to for those nightclubs, right? For a nightclub goer, it's just the way it is. There's going to be every charge possible. Obviously, a bottle that you can get at your local liquor store for $39 is going to be $800. And if you're like,
$800,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. 600, 800,
4,000.
So if the little things matter, then the clubs are not the place for you. All right, so tell us about the club in the end zone. I saw you doing some video. I was watching your video. I was like, is that lady going to get out of the way? And then I watched these things closely. There was a lady kind of blocking your view out to the field. She ducked and got out of the way. I was like, yeah.
That was catchy.
Good job. Was it? Okay.
Yes, it
good.
Was.
So I thought it was one of the stadium employees. I'm like, that was really a heads up move there.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Incredible. Like it was the first thing. I knew it was going to be there. But it was the first thing I noticed the first time I went in the stadium last year. The first time the Raiders had a practice, I went right over to. I was like, "This is unbelievable." Yeah. There is a legit nightclub in the end zone of an NFL stadium. This is awesome, and it's very Vegas, of course. T-Mobile, of course, has a nightclub, same nightclub, but it's upstairs. And it's you don't see it like on the ice or anything. It's a very cool setup and an awesome seat, awesome place to watch games, but it's not like part of the action like it is here. I believe it was B.J. Emmons when he scored his touchdown. Looked like he was going to jump into the club, which would have been awesome. Somebody's going to do it.
Oh yeah,
they are. There's the DJ is like right there in the middle of the field, like right in the end zone. The bartenders for the servers where they go get the drinks from, like right there behind the goalpost. It is an awesome spot. And when I thought this game was a little bit subdued, but for big Monday Night Football against the Ravens, that club is, and it's going to be a nighttime, so people are already going to be kind of lit up a little bit. How great is that spot going to be with bottle service and right in the front row at the stadium? It's going to be great. And by the way, it's not just I know what you can see when you're watching the game is those like 8 or 9 booths, whatever it is, right on the field. It's actually a pretty legit like big club with like dance floor, bars in the back. There's a bunch of booths that aren't right on the field too. There's a lot of like seating area, a lot of.
I want to ask the dumbest question ever. Are there a lot of TVs in there for the club goers to watch the game?
There actually is a couple.
Yeah. I was looking around at your video. I'm like, if I'm inside, I got to get some TVs. Like a lot of TVs.
Sure.
I'm watching the game.
I think most people aren't going to care about.
I don't think they are either. That's why I said it was a stupid question.
But yeah, they're available. Like if you want to check it out. So I think, listen, it was funny, and this sounds completely obnoxious, but it actually is it's me in my real life too. Like I was in there because I was able to talk my way in as being press, and they wanted press. Like that's basically why I was in there. I'm never going to be in this club on my own. I'm never going to pay for that.
Oh, you have connections. Come on.
I know.
You can get juiced in.
I'm just saying it for what I'm about to say. The video kind of blew up that I took and posted on social media. And I think largely because some of the NFL Game Day guys on NFL Network were tweeting about it and like, wow, look at this. This is awesome. We need to do our show there. And then it really took off. But a couple of the comments right away were, oh, how much is it to sit there? How much is bottle service there? And then the people immediately responded back and said, if you're asking that question, you can't afford it.
Yep.
Like that's basically what it is. And I'm in the same boat. Like I'm never going to be in there. I'm never going to be paying for that. But it's going to be expensive. The answer, a lot.
Too much for you.
Yes.
If you're a bargain hunter, you got no shot.
Too much. So it sucks to say that. It does. But, I mean, that is the reality of the situation. Like, it's going to be incredibly expensive to sit in there. It just is.
Number 1.
I actually thought there was a good amount of stuff to take from the game. First of all, what do you think of Peterman? So he came out 6 of 7, 76 yards, good first drive. I mean, give the guy credit. He had no choice, but he played an entire preseason game.
No, he didn't.
Well, you're right. At the end, Cookus got in, and then unfortunately, Case Cookus got released today. But Peterman was in there for the majority of it.
And they let him throw it around a little bit.
Yeah. What do you think?
He looked like Nate Peterman.
Okay.
He managed the game well.
I mean, is it ridiculous to sit here and go, hey, has he improved? It matters for him.
And
I'm sure he'd like to be a backup at some point and maybe a starter. He got a chance to start. It didn't go well years ago.
Sure. And you look at the numbers, and he threw it up a bunch. Didn't throw a touchdown, but he led some really good drives, led some really efficient drives. He did everything he's supposed to do as a third-string quarterback. Like you come away from that saying, yeah, that guy as a third-string quarterback, we're comfortable. Like if he ever has to play, you're probably in a lot of trouble. But he's a good teammate. He knows the offense. He can run it. He can obviously be very efficient on the offense, as they showed. But he still has some of the same issues. Like a lot of times, people are thrown off by numbers, and you say, "Well, he didn't have that big, huge mistake. He threw one interception. It was when he got hit." Okay. Well, I thought there was 2 other ones that probably should have been intercepted that were dropped. Like I'm more about turnover-worthy plays than I'm about actual turnovers. And yeah, he had those mistakes that he made, which we see show up all too often with Nate Peterman. But again, efficient, knows the offense. He's not going to cause you any trouble. He's not going to, he is going to cause you trouble sometimes with interceptions, but